Hi, welcome to the Online Jewelry Academy. I'm John Ahr and I'm your instructor. In several of our videos we've mentioned plating as a good way to apply color and finish to your items after you've completed them. Well, today I thought that we'd take a field trip and actually visit a plater. So let's get going. Today I'm with Kenny Vogel of CalMart Plating in downtown Los Angeles, and he's going to tell us some things about plating. Now, you've seen a lot of the projects that we've developed on the Online Jewelry Academy realized in copper. If you want to make those pieces more beautiful and more wearable, plating is a great solution. So thanks for taking the time today, Kenny.
Sure, great to be here.
Great. So can you tell us what happens or how plating works?
Plating is an electrical and chemical process where electricity runs through the item and it's immersed in a chemical bath, and the electrical process draws the metallic particles out of the bath, and they form a layer on the part that you're trying to plate.
That's great information. Now, can you tell us what we can put into the plating bath?
Well, with electroplating, which is what we do, it has to be an item that can conduct electricity.
So we can't plate any plastic?
No, it's possible to do that. That's a different process. Electroforming is a way of plating on non-metallic items.
Oh, okay. So similar process, but different.
There's a few steps that you would need to do before you got to the plating process.
Okay. And if I plate a piece, how long can I expect that plating to last?
Well, a lot of that depends on the environment that it's in, and if it's, let's say, a jewelry item that's going to be worn on the body, what conditions it's worn under. Like, for example, if somebody is wearing a ring or bracelet and they swim in the ocean, the salt water could affect it. Different perfumes or lotions sometimes have chemicals which can stain or discolor even plated jewelry or real jewelry. So a lot of it depends on how the item is used. But under normal conditions, if you have something plated by a professional plater, it should last anywhere from 6 months to 16 years.
Wow. And can you vary the thickness of the plating?
Sure, that would also determine how long the plated item would last. If you were to, let's say, plate something in a small beaker at home, that would be what a lot of people refer to as flash plating. So you'd get the color of, let's say, gold plating, but it wouldn't be a very thick deposit of gold. So it would wear off much faster than if you had something where you specified you wanted gold vermeil, which is 2.5 microns. It's still a relatively thin layer. At 2.5 microns is about the thickness of a human hair.
Wow.
But that's considered a heavy plating for jewelry, gold-plated jewelry. So something like that you would expect to last a year or more.
Oh, wow, that's great. Now, if somebody brings in an item that has stones in it, do they have to remove these stones before they have the object plated?
Some stones can survive the plating process, like the harder stones like diamonds, sapphires, cubic zirconium. The softer stones like turquoise or pearls or any organic type of item, pearls, coral, the acid or the temperature will harm the item.
So it's kind of like putting them into a pickle pot then?
Yes.
Okay. So what besides the fact that I'm probably going to get a more even coating or maybe a better plating on my piece, what are some of the advantages of going to a plater versus trying to do it on your own in a beaker on your table?
Well, doing it on your own is fine, and it's a good way to learn about the process. But if you go to a professional plater, they have the required licenses and permits to handle the chemicals. Most chemicals that are used for plating are hazardous in some way. They can be toxic or cause burns. So you want to be very careful about handling the chemicals and then also disposing of the chemicals. So once you're finished plating something, even if you don't use all of the chemical that's in the bottle that you purchase, you still have to rinse the pieces. And then when you rinse it at home, what do you do with that rinse water? You have to dispose of it somehow.
Wow.
So we don't want to pour that down the drain. It's not good for the environment. It's not good for all the animals that live in the ocean. So if you go to a professional plater, they have provisions for handling that what's called hazardous waste, and it'll be disposed of properly.
Okay, so there really is a big advantage to going to a professional, because otherwise you're having to take care of all of that on your own.
Yeah, there are the community roundups where you can take old chemicals or paint, you know, and have it disposed of properly. So it is possible to do on your own as long as it's small quantities. But if it's something that you don't want to deal with that kind of situation, then a professional plater would be the way to go.
Well, if I take a piece to a professional plater, or if I send it away to a plater, how long does it take for that piece to, what's the turnaround on the piece?
Well, it depends on the plating shop and their workload. It could be anywhere from a few days to a few weeks, depending on how busy they are and what the item you're having to plate. But I'd say generally most plating shops would be about a week turnaround time.
Okay, do I need a minimum number of items to start this process, or can I send just one?
Most plating shops have a minimum charge, so even if you only had one item, they would be happy to do it. They might have a minimum charge, which could range anywhere from $15 or $20 up to $500, because there's a variety of different kind of plating shops. Some specialize in, let's say, aircraft parts or car parts, so you wouldn't want to take your jewelry to that particular type of plater. So you want to make sure the plater that you're going to is somebody that's experienced in plating jewelry.
Well, how would we find a professional plater?
Well, you can check online.
Okay.
Most of the shops have some kind of web presence, and also, you know, word of mouth. You can ask around, let's say, different jewelry stores or fellow jewelry designers. If you go to craft shows or jewelry fairs, you know, look around and see if you see something that's plated. Ask them where they had it plated.
Okay, those are some great suggestions. Now, I notice you have some jobs hanging here, ready to go for plating. Can you explain how this is organized or what's going on?
Okay, well, in order for the process to work, the item that we're plating has to be able to conduct electricity, so it has to be a metallic item, but we have to get the electricity to the part. So, for example, we'll wire the part on copper wire, so that way we have a way of holding the item, and then we could immerse it into the bath. And we used different number tags just to track the items and not mix
so I get back
people's
to
jobs.
The piece I brought in. Kenny, I have one more question for you. What types of metals can you actually apply to the jewelry here at CalMart Plating?
Okay, well, we can do nickel plating,
okay,
silver plating, a variety of gold platings, 10 karat, 14, 18, 22, and 24 karat yellow golds. We do a yellow gold, it's called a green gold. It's kind of greenish tint. Rose gold, palladium, rhodium, which are both white metals in the platinum family.
Is this common at most platers?
Each plater specializes in the types of finishes and coatings that they do. Some platers, for example, do brass plating. We don't do brass plating here. We specialize in precious metal plating. So it kind of depends on what plater you're going to.
Okay. Well, the Online Jewelry Academy has demonstrated several items using copper and brass. Is it possible for you to show us how the plating process works on a piece like this?
Sure, sounds good.
Okay, great.
Let's get started, but first let's put on our safety goggles.
Okay. Yeah, we always talk about safety in all of our videos. So we don't want anything to splash in our eyes, I guess.
Right, and I'm going to wear gloves because a lot of the materials that we're handling are acidic or toxic, so we want to be sure that we're safe at all times.
I'll let you handle everything.
Okay. Okay, John, so before we can start, we have to wire this up. So what we're going to do is use copper wire and attach it to the part, so that way we can hold it while we're plating it, and the electricity will go from the wire to the part.
So you're basically giving it a handle that can receive an electrical current.
Correct.
Okay.
And we'll just leave a little lead on top. Okay, and we're ready to go. Okay, John, so the first step in plating is the cleaning process.
Okay.
So what we need to do is remove any impurities from the item. Impurities could be rouge from polishing, or it could even be oils from your hands from handling the piece. So we need to remove that before we can plate. So what we're going to do is immerse it in the electro cleaner, and then we attach it to the bar, and this is actually doing the opposite of plating. Instead of plating onto the part, we're blasting the dirt off of the part.
Wow. Okay.
So after cleaning the part for a few minutes, then we need to rinse. We're going over here. This is what's called a clarifier. It's a 3-stage rinse tank.
It looks cleaner already.
So we're rinsing it in water, dirtiest to cleanest. And then we're going to give it a quick acid dip.
Okay.
That will remove whatever soap residue is left, because we don't want to drag any of the soap into the plating solutions. That will cause what's called organic contamination.
Oh.
So we want to keep all the different plating baths and chemicals separate, so we don't contaminate any of the different plating baths.
Okay, so you already cleaned all of my greasy popcorns off the piece. What's the next step?
Okay, well, what we do is we give it a copper stripe. That's kind of like a primer coat. Let's say if we use the analogy of painting a house, you would put a primer, then an undercoat, and then your final coat. So in this case, we did a copper stripe. Now we're going to go into the nickel tank, and that's going to be our base coat.
Okay.
Now typically it will be in the nickel bath for anywhere from 5 to 20 minutes, depending on the item, how large it is, and what thickness of nickel you want.
Okay. So it's been in there about 10 minutes. Is it ready?
Yeah, I think it's time to check it out.
Wow, that doesn't look like the same piece.
So here it is, nickel plated, and now we're ready to rinse.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to rinse again in the 3-stage rinse tank. And now we're ready for gold plating. Okay, John, so now we're going to do the gold plating. So I'm going to immerse it here in the bath, connect it to the cathode bar, and I'll put a clip on it just so we get good contact.
How long are you going to leave it in there?
Well, we'll leave this in for about 20 minutes. That way we'll get approximately 1.5 micron gold thickness.
Wow. Okay. Okay, I'm really excited to see what it looks like.
Okay, John, I think we're ready. So let's take a look and see what we got.
Wow. It's gold.
Yeah, there we go. So why don't we rinse this off and go in the other room and take a good look at it.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to rinse it off. All right. Okay, John, so I'm going to clip the wire off here, and we'll take a look at what we did.
Cool. Wow. That's amazing. It's completely gold. It's like we took the form-folded copper and now it looks like form-folded gold. Wow. Thanks for showing us the process, Kenny. I really appreciate it.
Sure.
So just remember, hire a professional plater. Wasn't that great? Now, thanks to Kenny at CalMart Plating here in Los Angeles, we went from copper to gold. This makes this piece a lot more wearable, a lot more attractive, and it won't turn brown like a penny. Watch our other videos and look for our products on the onlinejewelryacademy.com. Thanks for watching.